Welcome, Gunrunner.
Hello everybody, Kieran aka the Retro Laird here, and I'm back with another free magazine review type thing for you. And those of you who follow my channel will remember that a couple of months ago I looked at this one just here, you can see on the screen, PC Engine Gamer from Sun Team, and that video went down really well actually. And I've looked at a few other freely downloadable magazines, and when I did my look at PC Engine Gamer, I mentioned that Sun Team had another magazine that you could download for free, which was ZX Spectrum Gamer, which you can see just here. In fact, he has a couple of other ones as well, but they're not strictly gaming. You can see they're J-Fan and Tokyo Fan. There's some video games in. Maybe if you want me to look at those, I can look at those as well. But you know where they are. They're all on this same website, which is sunteam.co.uk. I have linked it in the description, as I always do. So yeah. So today we are going to be looking at ZX Spectrum Gamer, as you probably guessed, because I did say that we are going to be. I was going to do that in the future. I've left it a couple of months, and now I'm coming back to it. So here you go. Here it is on the website. There is 5 issues available, and the fifth issue there. Also, they created a game to go with it, which I'll mention when I get to the issue. As before with the PC Engine Gamer, I'm not going to look at every issue because I don't want to spoil it all for you. So I'm just going to have a look at every other one, so we can go through and see what it's all about. But there we go. So. Let's have a look at issue 1 then, shall we? So I'll just get it up. Okay, so here we go. Here's issue 1 of ZX Spectrum Gaming. It's dated October 2011. So as you can see, this is actually over 10 years old now. Blimey, where's the time gone? Because I remember downloading these a very, very long time ago. But I think there's still a lot of people who aren't aware of them, so they're still well worth looking at. In this issue, Trash Man, which is a ZX Spectrum classic, Discs of Death, Killer Kong, and Ollie and Lisa. So let's go. It says a nice contents page with the editorial from Sun Team Paul, the man behind the whole Sun Team thing. Great guy. He's helped me out with a few retro gamer articles over the years and stuff. Really cool guy. So there we go. Welcome. A bit about the magazine, and a nice picture of Brian Blessed there. And that's one thing you will notice with his magazines. Same with the PC Engine Gamer one and this one. A lot of humour, very British humour in these magazines, which I love because it reminds me of the old days of your Sinclair, which was a brilliant magazine with always had tons of humour in it. So there we go. There's Trash Man. It's funny because everyone raves about Trash Man. It is a good game, but it's weird because I don't ever remember it from back in the day. I didn't know anyone who had it. I never played it. I never had it. And it feels like I kind of missed out on this huge amount of nostalgia that a lot of people seem to have for Trash Man. It seems strange because out of all the games that a lot of people regard as these all-time ZX Spectrum classics, Trash Man's the only one that I either didn't own or knew someone who owned. All the stuff like the Ultimate Play the Games titles and School Days and Jet Set William Manic Mine and stuff like that I either owned or my friends owned. So yeah, it's very strange. So there we go, the Rating Potato. There we go, great. And top 10 famous trash men. Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez, Lonnie Donegan's old man. That's it, great stuff. So there we go. Gallery with look at that, Tony Hart. I sent stuff into Tony Hart and it never got featured. Such a show. It was a great program, but I was so gutted that I never got any of my art featured on Take Heart. But I'm guessing hundreds and hundreds of people used to send stuff into there. So yeah, some different Spectrum game covers. Discs of Death, which of course is a rip off of the Discs of Tron arcade game. Not played that actually. I liked the Tron arcade games, so maybe I should try that out sometime. Cake of the month, brilliant. Some great loading screens there. That Rambo one is particularly good. That's one of the best Spectrum loading screens out there. Killer Kong, which is absolutely flipping awful. It's one of the worst Donkey Kong games I've played, and they've said the same thing in here. Interestingly, I met somebody who ran Blarby computer games at the Retro Compute Museum in Leicester once, and I was going to interview him and he never got back to me, which was a shame. I emailed him and he never replied, but there we go. Ollie and Lisa, there we go. It's a bit of a budget classic as far as the Spectrum goes. There's a budget games. I had that one and I had the third one, I believe, back in the day. He doesn't like it. I thought they were pretty cool games actually. I quite liked the Ollie and Lisa games. Popular Ghosts. Went to Ghost Classic there. Steve Jobs. Brilliant. The Parson's Nose, the unpopular fleshy arse end of the magazine. There we go. Lots and lots of humour in this, as I said. So it talks about some new games and stuff. And that's it. So it's just 22 pages, that first issue. Okay, so we skip to issue 3, September 2013. So it's like 2 years later. So there's a big gap between these issues actually of ZX Spectrum Gamer. You'll notice this as we go through. So we've got a very monochromatic cover there with Amarote. Another budget classic game actually. I had that back in the day. My Mastertronic. So about Ollie and Lisa. That's another budget classic. There's our usual index page, contents page even, call it the right thing, and there's Amarote, which if you had a 1 to 8K Spectrum, of course, you've got amazing music by David Whittaker, which is some of the best music on the Spectrum. So good. Given that nice big review, it's a classic game. He's not sure about that, but it's a great game, I think so anyway. Cake of the month. There's our gallery again. We've got that again. So some different robot type art there. Cockatoni Wilf by Elite. I didn't own that. I have played it though. It's not really my kind of game. I found it quite hard, and I'm not really keen on those kind of platformy games. But a lot of people like it. He liked it. So there we go. Jerry the Germ. I can't say I've ever played Jerry the Germ, but I have heard people talk about it in quite a nostalgic way. Though he said it was rubbish, but as I say, never played it, so I can't really comment on the quality of Jerry the Germ. Some more great loading screens, 4 really good ones there, especially Green Brown Whizball. I think they're excellent. Here's the Parson's Nose, 1988. And that's the end of that one, which is even less. It's only 20 pages. That's a slightly smaller one. There. So here we are, the 5th and final issue. Well, unless he makes any more. It's been quite a few years since this one, because this is April 2018, which means it's like 7 years after the first issue. So as I say, there's only 5 issues, but there's a really big gap in between when they were made. Hopefully he does make some more, but it's not looking likely, considering, say, this was like 4 years ago that he made this. But one thing you'll notice about this one is it looks completely different. He went for a completely different look with this. All the others follow a very standardised look. They all look the same, all have the same formatting and same logos, etc., etc. This one goes for a completely different look, which seems to be very, very much inspired by the classic Crash. Very similar logo and very similar style of cover, that kind of Ollie Frey type look to it. And this one, he was very clever in terms of doing like a cover tape thing. So, you know, like back in the day when you bought magazines that had tapes on the cover, sometimes kids would nick the tapes. So you'd always get this thing saying, no cover tape, ask your newsagent. But if you did ask the newsagent, they would always just say, I don't know where it is, someone nicked it. So yeah, they'd be left with a magazine that no one wanted to buy because the cover tape was missing. But there we go. So he's done a nice take on copying that. So you see this one looks quite different. So again, a completely different look to the contents page there as well. Very different again. But then it goes into the cover tape. So basically what he did was here, he made a homebrew game available to download, which you can download from the website along with the magazine. And it was a game that he made himself. You'll see there, game design, graphics and programming by Paul Weller. Paul Weller is Sun Team Paul, one and the same. Yeah, don't get confused with the pop star. But it was mostly made with Jonathan Caldwell's Arcade Game Designer, which a lot of Spectrum Homebrew has been made in. It's a very good little tool. And a very ultimate play the game actually inspired cover there. But that was a pretty cool idea, having a homebrew game that you could download and play. Very cool indeed. Going to reviews, completely different look again. Even in terms of the rating system, it's a bit more serious. It's a bit less comedic. Scuba Dive was a good game though. I quite liked Scuba Dive back in the day. I didn't have it, but one of my friends did. So I remember playing it around his house. Lunar Crabs, can't say I've ever played that. It looks right though, actually. Saving Kong. So is that a new? Yeah, it's a homebrew game. Yeah, I've never played that either. Looks quite interesting. The gallery. So smaller one this time. Definitely. God, that's a terrible cover for a game, isn't it? Obviously hand drawn. Very crap. That's Sinking Feeling. That's an advert for another homebrew game. There we go. Actually, looks like it's another one by Paul himself. Zombies Dead Flesh. Another new game. I've not played that either, actually. A fun but overlong zombie shooter. Looks like I quite like those kind of games, so I have to give that one a try, actually. Gandalf, another new game. So it looks like most of this issue is actually homebrew games, new games. And some nice loading screens, a couple there from homebrew games, and then the one from Scuba Dive. And another advert for for homebrew stuff, Horus in the Megavault, and Zyzexian Attack, I assume you pronounce it something like that. Again, Sun Team stuff. Antics by Bugbite. Never played that, never heard of it either, actually. It's a game I'm not aware of. Worth giving it a bash. Oh, maybe I will then. So there we go. I like this though. I didn't mention this before, the mags. He's put what other mags said about it back in the day. It's a Crash Day, Your Spectrum, which of course morphed into Your Sinclair later on, and Sinclair User. My favourite was Your Sinclair in terms of Spectrum mags went, and then Sinclair User. I wasn't a massive fan of Crash. I know everyone goes mad about Crash. A lot of people consider Crash the best of the Spectrum magazines, but it wasn't for me. I don't know. I was always a Your Sinclair, very, very much so. Bobby Carrot, another cool homebrew game there. And that's it. So how many pages is this one? 22 again. It's about to 22. So all a similar length. But that's it really. That is my look at ZX Spectrum Gamer magazine. So I'll flick back to the website there, just for my final thoughts. So yeah, you've got 5 issues there. They're really good read. They're really well written. Really interesting content, not all the obvious stuff that you'd expect to see. No Jet Set Willy and Jetpack and all the games that you always see in these kind of things. Lots of different stuff, interesting views, lots of humour, and they're free, aren't they? I mean, God, you can't really criticise something that's free, but it helps when they're really well written and designed as well. So if you're a fan of the Spectrum, these are well worth downloading, even if you're not downloading, because they're a good read if you're just interested in video games in general. But I hope you've enjoyed my look at another freely downloadable magazine. I'll have to go researching some more now that I can cover on the channel for the future. But as always, I thank you for watching. I've been Kieran, aka The Laird, and I'll see you all again for another video very soon. Bye bye.